How are you doing, everyone? Mr. Lopazzo here with another drawing video. Today, we're going to draw some koi fish. Here's a more realistic version of them. But we're going to draw two koi fish, kind of like that, from the top view. A koi is a kind of carp, and they're very, very decorative. And I'll show you this, I'll show you this afterwards too. Just to show you all the different colors they come in. They're beautiful colored fish. People have them in what they call a koi pond, because they're so decorative and beautiful. You can have them outside in a pond. They're very pretty to watch swim around. So we're going to do two koi, and it's going to be kind of like a view from the top. So we're looking down on them. Paper, pencil, eraser, and here we go. I'm going to turn my paper horizontal. Doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. I'm going to put one here and then one over here. So they're kind of like a football shape to start, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put a football right about here. Right about here. That's where I'm going to put my football. And my football is going to be a little bit curved on one end. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to go too close to the side because I have to put his tail over here. So I'm going to start right about here, and I'm going to go up and around and down. So my football, oops, so you have a little curve at the top. And on this side, I'm going to curve around. So you have a little point on that end. And then I'm going to come out wide. And then I will come down. I don't want to make that real pointy on the bottom. So this is kind of the football shape I was talking about. So it's a football with a little hook on the top of it. Skinny, wide, skinny, with a curve. And the reason why I put that little curve there is because I'm going to have a big decorative tail. It's got a big tail in the back. So I'm going to see this curve right here. I'm going to follow this curve around, and I'm going to continue that curve right off the back of him. I'm just going to come out a little bit. You can make that as wiggly as you want. That's his tail. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to follow this curve, and then I'm going to go up. Kind of like that. So it goes around, down, and around, and up. So you can see how nice and wide. Right here it's going to be very skinny. That's where the tail meets the body. And you can see it kind of looks like it's twisting, like it's overlapping a little bit right there. So we're just going to connect these two lines, and I'm going to make mine a little wiggly. So that's the body, that's the tail. Remember, we're looking straight down on it. A little bit different view. So down here I'm going to give him some eyes. So I'm going to do a little bump there. A little bump there. Those are his eyes from the top. And a koi is a carp, so he's got these little whiskers down there. And he's got a fin on each side. So the fin is just going to sort of be wide to pointy. Wide to pointy. Kind of like triangles, but wiggly triangles. And he's going to have a fin going right down the center of his back. And then we're just going to sort of do like a wiggly line. Remember, we're looking, can you tell yet? We're looking right straight down on him as he swims in his pond. And he's got these two other little fins. In the back, almost to the tail. Now I'm going to add a little bit of detail to all of those fins, just like a few lines for a little bit of texture kind of feeling. So what I'll do is I'll just put nice and very lightly as I can draw with a marker. I'll do a couple little lines there, and then I'm also going to have some nice little lines in his tail. Now, of course, koi have all kinds of patterns on them. I hate to call them spots because they're not just circles and spots. It almost looks like big paint blotches to me. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to put some like big spots. Almost looks like a cow, like cow spots on him. Okay. Kind of looking at both the picture and you know what? I'm looking at this picture here. See that? See their eyes? Looks to me like their eyes are more on top of their head. So I'm just going to try something. Don't erase anything yet. I got to try something. I erase that eye and put it right here. So, tell you what we'll do. We'll give you a choice. You can do the Mr. Bulgy eye over here, or you can do those kind of eyes. Totally up to you. I think I kind of like these better. I'm coloring my pupils in because I have a black marker. You don't have to color them in yet because you're just sketching it out in pencil. Okay, so now we're going to do one. We're going to do the one over here. This one, I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm just going to turn him. So all the things I'm going to be telling you to do up there is basically the same thing, except it's just different. Different positioning. So I'm going to make my football that goes from here to there. And remember this one? Remember that little curve up there? I'm going to curve that down, up, around. This one's a little more plump. It's got a little more plumpness in the middle. My football's a little fatter. So I'll make some eyes, whiskers, and our tail. Remember, we continued that curve, so I'm going to follow this curve right up and off my page. If you have more room up there, you can continue and make your tail kind of look like this one. And then I'm going to follow this curve around right here. Remember how it was big here, but skinny where the tail touches the body. Kind of the same thing over here. I'm going to continue this curve up and out. I'm going to go right off my page. I don't have a lot of room up there. If you do, you can keep going and make your tail as big as you want. So I'm going to make the fin that goes down the middle of his back. I'm going to try maybe to put some lines in the fin, maybe. Yeah, that looks okay. We'll do some here too. Remember, folks, anytime I draw something and you go, ugh, I don't like that, you don't have to do it. You can add the stuff that I have if you want. You can eliminate whatever you want. I won't feel bad. I will not be offended. So he needs some fins. On the side of the body. They're going to start out wide, get pointier at the end, but yours can really be as wiggly or big or short as you want. And maybe we'll add a couple little details maybe to the fins. And we've got those smaller fins on the back, kind of like the other fish. I don't think I did any lines on those. I guess I could. You want? And we'll add a few little details to our tail. You can do as many of those or as few as you'd like. Now, some of these have patchy patterns and some of them don't. I'm going to do another patchy pattern. And if you want to search Google Images or whatever, you can just search koi and you'll find so many different color combinations, and you can kind of color it based on those if you want. Totally up to you. Give them little cow spots. Whatever you want to do. And you can do like little ripples in the water kind of thing. Maybe he's splashing in the water. Kind of like he's swimming. So as far as coloring them, so obviously week 1 we sketch it out, right? And then the second art class you can color it in. So there's lots of different ways you can do this. You can outline these if you want with a thin marker if you have one, and then you could color these with colored pencils. You can do it with crayons. You could crayon the koi and then watercolor the water if you want. So obviously crayon has the wax, so if you color these with crayon, you can watercolor right over top of them. So it looks to me like these, they outlined with what looks like a pointy crayon to me. That looks like a crayon. And then it looks like they watercolored the fish and the water. You can see where they blended some colors in the tail, which is kind of cool. So whether you kind of look at this and do that, or you find your own pictures online, or you want to do one of these, totally up to you. So crayon some of it if you want, watercolor some of it, or all of it if you want to. Completely your call. And check out all the koi online. Google Image is always great. You're going to find millions of pictures, more than you need. I went really fast on this drawing, so feel free to pause it, rewind it, and take as much time as you need to. Okay? So, and listen, if you want to add more koi, go for it. You have the basic steps down. Just because you could put a nose peeking out over here, you could have a tail peeking out off the page, almost like they're swimming off the page. You could do as many as you want. I just did 2, so they don't get lonely. Feel free. Can't wait to see them. Make sure you send me pictures of them, and I will see you again soon. Adios, people.